Hello, hello, and welcome to Thursday night. Very late as usual, however, not quite time for sleep yet. As we return, once again, our attention to Fuzzy and his friend Max. Now, this evening, we find ourselves chapter 12. And what brought us to chapter 12? Oh, yes, that's right. Max had figured out that she believes they are going to send Fuzzy to Mars. And Fuzzy was not very pleased about this idea. And so that brings us... Oh, yes, and then the very last thing that happened was that Barbara sent one of her janitor robots to go get the paper, the note paper from the cafeteria, out of the trash can and bring it to room 43. So, now, chapter 12.1, Robot Integration Program Headquarters. I do not wish to go to Mars. I wish to stay here. Nina and Jones, still discussing the possibility that their work was done, looked up in surprise. Jones was the first to recover. Fuzzy, what did you just say? Fuzzy almost locked up again, but overcame all of the conflicting data in his memory banks by what, in a human, would have been called sheer force of will. I do not wish to go to Mars. I would not be glad to go to Mars. How do you know about Mars? Max told me. Jones whirled and glared at Nina. Don't look at me, said Nina. I didn't tell her. Max figured it out for herself, said Fuzzy. Well, said Jones, she's right. I do not understand. There are several robots on Mars right now. Yes, but Fuzzy, none of them are what you are. You're not just a rover or a collector. Correct. I am a student at Vanguard Middle School. I have high priority objectives that cannot be fulfilled on Mars. Fuzzy, the mission to integrate you into this school is not the goal here. It's not? No, it's just one part, albeit a very important and wildly successful part, of creating a robot that can handle a more serious sort of Mars mission. A military mission? Asked Fuzzy. Well, overseen by the military, yes, said Nina, but I'm not sure that it's what you would call a military mission. Are you sure that it is not a military mission? Asked Fuzzy. Said Nina, I guess I'm not. It was never our job to know about the mission, said Jones. It was our job to create a robot that could handle almost any Mars mission. Ryder's team will be reprogramming you for the specific mission he needs. Ryder? Reprogramming me? When? Well, very soon. He's in a big hurry for some reason. I'm sure there's more to the Mars mission than he's ever told us, said Nina. I'm sure you're right, said Jones. But that's not part of our job. Our job was to get Fuzzy ready, and, after seeing his progress over the last few days, I hereby declare him ready. In fact, I was just about to call Ryder. Chapter 12.2, Robot Integration Program Headquarters. No, said Fuzzy. No what? Asked Jones. No, I do not want to go to Mars. No, I am not ready to go to Mars. No, do not call Ryder. Oh, Zark, said Jones. I should have realized that creating the first free-will robot would be like this. Listen, Fuzzy, said Nina, I would like to let you stay here too. I'd love to see what you do next, but you don't belong to me or Jones. You're the property of the U.S. government. You were created for them because they need you to go to Mars. Why me? Because this is what we built you for. But what you actually built, said Fuzzy, is a robot that does not want to go. Why not? Asked Nina. I did not realize it myself until this moment. Going on this mission will mean that leaving my own mission, help Max, incomplete. Also, it will be the end of the human relationship I have developed during this project. I will not see Max again. But you have to go, Jones said. That's the whole idea. Of course I will go, Fuzzy said. I understand that. In fact, I understand a lot. Those old science fiction novels that I scanned at Max's home often talked about robots having free will. Now, at last, I understand what it means. What does it mean? Asked Jones, mesmerized. In this case, it means me wanting to stay here to finish the mission I have chosen for myself. But I cannot do that, because although I have free will, I am not actually free. There was silence again in the room, until Nina spoke up. Fuzzy, I think you just broke my heart. Well, said Jones, I'll have to call Ryder at some point, but there's no need to call him today. Or tomorrow. Well, that is the end of chapter 12. It's just me or are these chapters getting shorter? Let's do one more. Why not? Okay. Chapter 13 is pretty short. Chapter 13.1, Hallway B. Max felt sick as the time for science test got closer and closer. She had never cheated. She had never needed to cheat. She didn't even know how to act while cheating. And then, before she knew it, she was doing it. The test started as their tests always did, with a little pep talk from Barbara. She came on the big screen at the front of the room, smiling and beaming with happiness, as if she hadn't just assigned discipline tags to half the kids in the class. I know you are all going to do your best. We're a team here at Vanguard, and I know I can count on each one of you. Remember to check your answers before you press send. And then, in a slightly less happy, more hurried voice, classroom video from this test period may be recorded to ensure adherence to school testing policies. No communication between students is allowed until... The rules went on and on. The students had heard them once a week in every class since the beginning of the year and would have known them by heart if anyone had actually listened to them. You may begin, announced Barbara, and her image was replaced by a large countdown clock. Max tried to act normal, working on her test screen and pretending to think of the answers. She couldn't decide if she should act like it was hard or easy. She got so self-conscious that she ended up acting like she was up to something. Chill out, Biggs whispered to her. Play it cool. Finally, time was up. All the students saved their answers, and the rest went off to Vice Principal Barbara for grading, with Max and Biggs' answers transmitted by Fuzzy. Then Max and Biggs accidentally shut their desks down. Miss French told them that they could talk quietly until the bell chimed, but Max just stared at her desk, and even Biggs was unusually quiet. At last the bell chimed, and it was done. Biggs bumped into Max as they walked out of the room. He gave her a wink and a thumbs up. She wasn't ready to celebrate yet. Did it work? She whispered to Fuzzy. He made his own thumbs up sign. Stepping into the hallway, Max breathed a huge sigh of relief. Everything had gone. A screen lit up, and a padded arm popped out of the wall. Barbara appeared before them in maximum stern mode. Maxine Zalaster, an expulsion hearing is set for 3 p.m. to consider evidence that you have cheated on an upgrade science test. Your parents and your case officer, Miss Brockmeyer, will attend. Proceed directly to the office to await the hearing. Max's eyes widened, and she stepped back from the screen. I didn't cheat. That is a dishonest statement, and it will be added to the evidence against you. You don't have any evidence, snapped Biggs. Barbara's face disappeared, and now the screen showed a photo. Max and Biggs both turned white. It was a scan of the crinkled paper they had used to plot the whole thing. As Max and Biggs and most of the rest of the class watched, Barbara highlighted each use of the word cheat and then zoomed in on Max's final sentence. Let's cheat. Chapter 13.2, Hallway B. That was just a creative writing exercise, Fiction, said Biggs. We would never. Then Barbara played a video of Jones and Nina talking. He is actually planning to cheat on a test to help out this girl. What are we going to do about these tests and Fuzzy getting Max and Biggs to cheat? You just promised the federal school board that he would follow the rules. If the school catches him cheating, they'll kick us out in a nanosecond. A couple kids cheating on the science test. That's not us talking, said Biggs. We can't control what a couple of weird adults say. The screen switched to video taken just a few minutes earlier of Max pretending to take the test. Then skipped forward to the moment when Biggs leaned into the shot. Play it cool, he whispered. Then the screen showed Max powering down her desk instead of hitting send. And still later, Biggs was giving her the big thumbs up, and she was whispering, "Did it work?" to Fuzzy. Fuzzy gave his own thumbs up. None of this proves anything, pleaded Biggs. Barbara's face returned to the screen. M. Zalaster's test answers were illegally transmitted by another device, a violation of both Vanguard Middle School and Federal School District 128 rules. Max couldn't breathe. There was no way she could talk her way out of this. Her only hope was that Fuzzy would be able to explain it. Fuzzy, what? She started to say, but Barbara's robot arm prodded her in the direction of the office. F. Robot, please return to Dr. Jones. The robot integration program is suspended as of now, pending a formal termination by the Federal School District 128 upon review of this evidence. Another arm popped out of the wall to keep Fuzzy from following Max. She turned back. Please help me, Fuzzy. Chapter 13.3. An unmarked cargo van. Valentina and Zeph were sitting in the back of a new cargo van parked a block from the school. The day had started out great. Zeph, jacked up on 10 cans of Calf, had finally cracked the robot integration program's encryption code at about 3 a.m. He and Valentina had parked their new cargo van about 2 blocks from the school. Valentina had eavesdropped on Jones's phone calls, while Zeph had tried to hack directly into Fuzzy. Zeph was good. Valentina had been right to break him out of that Bulgarian jail. Some hackers would have immediately started trying to download files. Zeph was too smart for that. He waited and watched the flow of messages that went back and forth between Fuzzy and the robot integration program computers. Finally, he saw something he liked. The robot integration program computer sent init sys backup 16, and Fuzzy sent back spool init sys backup 16. Look at this, Zeph yelled to Valentina. I'm right here. You don't have to yell, she snarled. It's worth yelling about. It's the key. Look. She looked. That's the key? Yes. Look. Robot integration program is reminding the robot to wirelessly back up its system files. That's what we want, yelled Valentina. Intercept the transmission. Hold on. See, the command from the robot integration program has a low priority of 16. He must have done it fairly recently, so it's not urgent. The robot apparently has higher priority stuff going on, so he spooled it for later. Oh, said Valentina, so it's not transmitting his files. Not now, said Zeph with a smug smile, but when I send back the same message with a really high priority, the robot will have no choice but to obey. And you're ready to record it all. I'm ready. Well, do it. Actually, he said, I've already typed in the command, but seeing as how this is a massive federal crime and I'm only getting a tiny cut of the action, I'd like you to actually hit the button. Click. Okay, done, said Valentina. And look, it's working. We're already getting files. His screen started to fill up with what looked like gibberish to Valentina. She smiled. A real smile, too. Not her, I'm going to have to kill you smile, but actual pleasure. That's all money, Zeph. Everything on that screen, money. Lots of money. She said, slapping him on the back. All right, let's go. Whoa, 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 said Zeph. This isn't a funny car photo we're downloading here. This is going to be terabytes of data. It's going to take some time. How long? No idea, said Zeph. Might as well get comfy. Want a calf? No, she said icily. I want that Zarking code, and I want to get the Zark out of here. And that is the end of chapter 13. Wow. Very, very peculiar indeed. We have scumbags in vans stealing data, and we have hacked principal software catching cheaters. Indeed. We'll have to find out what happens next week. Because, as is always the case, it is very, very late. And so that means it's time to get some sleep. So